distinguished guests, teachers, parents, and to our dearly loved children. It gives me immense joy to be standing here to share my testimony of God's faithfulness and God's goodness in my life and over my family. I am a mom to 4 sons, in which my eldest is autism. But today I'm not standing here as a mom to an autistic child, but I'm standing here as a mom to a child who is fearfully and wonderfully made by our Heavenly Father in His own image. The word autism never existed for me. It was a foreign term. As I gave birth to my son and as years went by, 2 years and 3 years, I noticed my son was different. Different that in the sense that when all the children his age group were walking, he was barely crawling. When other children were already conversing with their parents or families, my son was barely uttering a word or two. And then occasionally he did the steaming, and I saw that there was some difference in my son. That's when I started to Google and I found the word autism. At first it was not easy for me to accept it, and then I remember the first thing that after I found out the term autism, the first thing that I typed in the Google was, is it curable? And when I found that it was not curable, it broke my heart, but I did not surrender. Today, I want to encourage my friends who have children with special needs, never to give up. I decided to do 2 things. That is, one is therapy and one is to take it to the Lord in prayer. It is not easy being a mom to an autistic child, and especially for me. When I sent my son to school, it was not easy, especially during those gatherings and annual days. When all the other children participated, my son never participated. When other parents were clicking pictures or taking videos of their children, I had tears rolling down my eyes because I could not see my son in the stage. There were instances, when we had to get, there was a particular year where he was to wear a costume of mango, and it was not easy. It was a very short notice, so I could not even order it. I had to rush down here to Dimapur, and then I had to rush to so many tailors to get the order done, but so many tailors refused. But somehow I got hold of a tailor who was willing to get a customized order for a mango costume. And then even at home, my son was excited. But on the particular day of the annual day, I was anticipating. I was so excited that my son would come up in the stage, but he did not. And then I felt so sad. But like I said, I did not give up. I enrolled my son in this precious gem school in referral hospital for the therapy. But unfortunately, after a day or 2, the lockdown happened and my son could not continue his therapy. What I did was from the YouTube, whatever help that I could get from the YouTube, I did the therapy at home. And I'm telling you, I prayed earnestly, I did fasting, I prayed so much for my son, and God is doing, and God did so many wonderful things in my son's life. There is a term in our Sumi dialect, it's called lonima, and it's a very aggressive term, and when translated to English, I could not find out the exact meaning, but it is considered to a person who is so weak, and it's very hurtful word. So when somebody told that my son is lonima, it broke my heart. I cried so much, and I took it to the Lord in prayer. And God spoke to me through a word, through a song. We all are familiar with the song, "Because He lives, I will face tomorrow." And there is a particular stanza, in that song, there is a particular sentence that the days are so uncertain, but the child can face uncertain days because He lives. God reminded me that no matter the future, our children are secure because our God lives. And today, we as parents of children with learning disabilities or children with special needs, I want to encourage every one of us that it's a blessing that God chose us to be parents to these children. So many people say that it is a curse. Children who are born with disabilities or children with special needs, people might consider it as a curse, but I take it as a blessing. Because we even as adults, when we are going to assign some difficult task, we assign the task to the most reliable person. So I believe that God chose us because we are the most reliable person, probably. God found us worthy enough, trustworthy enough to be taking care of His most special children. There were times, like I say, that my son, even on birthdays, he despised his birthday gatherings. We never sang birthday songs in his birthdays because he was so indifferent to noises. But however, as time passes by, as years passes by, I can see the improvements in my son's life. So I'm encouraging my co-parents, not to give up on our sons, not to give up on our children, but to continue to work to transform our children. Never say never. There were times people say bad things also, and I even heard that there was a lady who said that even after all the prayers she made, she mentioned that about me, that after all the prayers she made, even though she praised a lot, she still gave birth to a crazy son. That's what she told. But at first, honestly, I was so sad, I was heartbroken. But when I took it to the Lord in prayer, when I prayed to God, God reminded me that it is not me she's insulting, but it is God who's insulting. Because it is not I who created my son, but it is God who created my son. And God never makes mistake. He is a perfect God. He never makes mistake. We all know that verse, Jeremiah 29 verse 11, that everybody God has created for a purpose. All the children present here, our children with special needs, God has created everyone for a purpose. God's plan is to prosper them, to give them a hope and a future. And I believe that our children has wonderful future awaiting them. It's very stressful being a parent, but it is even more stressful being a parent to a child with special needs. It is said that parents who have children with special needs, they have higher stress level. We have more anxieties. And some parents who have children with special needs have more depressions. And physically it can be draining also. Lack of sleep, they have to deal with their tantrums and impatience and so much more, that it can even lead to physical illnesses. And financially it is also very draining because we know that therapies are not very cheap. It's expensive, and as parents, as teachers, as educators, I know it's not easy, but as a parent, I have a request to all the people present here that we all have a big role to play. We all have a big role to be the voice for these voiceless children. We need resources, we need help. The children are crying out. As laymen, as educators, as parents, teachers, as anybody, we can all do our part to mold, to shape our children, to create a world safe enough for our children to live without fear, to live without judgment. I know that autism cannot be eradicated, it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be removed. But what we can do is, we can eradicate the social stigmas of judgments, of prejudices. Let us all come together, let us all join our hands together and create a world safe enough for our children to live without fear, to live without judgment, so that they will live to fulfill God's purpose in their life. Thank you so much.